Hi, and welcome to another coffee break with Formation. So today I want to try something a little bit new. I want to comment a little bit about recent events and specifically, so Elon Musk recently tweeted a poll asking if people wanted an edit button on Twitter. And apparently a PM from Twitter commented on it and said, they're the edit button PM. They've been working on it for 2 years and that it was coming out soon. So that's exciting. And I was talking about it with a couple of fellows at Formation, and people were kind of incredulous as to why in the world it would take so long. At a glance, it seems like you would just build like a text box and an API to update one field. And I thought this was interesting, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it. And, with most things engineering related like this is a common phenomenon where the end product that you see is really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to, the effort that it took to actually get it built and shipped. And I want to talk a little bit about that complexity today. And I also want to talk about how you can use that kind of complexity to improve your performance in engineering interviews. So to get back into the edit button functionality, right? There's a lot of kind of product complexity to consider in rolling it out. And this is going to be a few-minute video, so we're not even going to barely scratch the surface of it, but just to begin thinking about it, right? Pieces of content on social media don't live in isolation. So once you post something, other people can respond to it. And imagine if someone posted, something innocent sounding like, I love puppies. And then you respond, you're like, I love them too. And then the original poster, edited the post. And now it says that they love something really controversial and something you really don't want to be associated with, right? And so now we need to consider this in terms of how this product will be used in the wild. So now when we think about, a post that's been edited, we should also mark that post. And further, you might want to be able to show the full edit history of all of the different edits that were made and when they were made so that we can be transparent about, each person's comment, what each person's comment was in response to. But there's more, right? Like even if there is an edit history, most people aren't going to be looking through that when they're reading a post. So, the commenters of a post or the responders to a post still might not want to be associated with that content. And so you might want to consider, building a notification system to let people know that, the thing that they replied to has been edited and now they have a chance to edit their own post. And now I don't know if you've identified the problem here, but this now kind of starts a recursive loop. Another of a replier now edits their comment. Should we now notify other commenters on this post again? And, there's these public threads and there are thousands of comments long, and this process could take forever, and if everyone starts modifying their comments, then, people might receive a million notifications. And now you might want to work on a notification aggregation system, and all of this is just at the product level, not even thinking about, the technical complexity behind a change like this. You originally may have had a big comment table storing all of your comments, and each one just stores the text of the comment. And now, if you want to, show the whole edit history, you're going to have to store the whole edit history. And so now you need to have a whole separate table that, just changes your whole data model. So I guess another kind of product process thing that I'll mention is, when I was at Facebook, I'll super overgeneralize and say there was generally two ways that projects get built, top down or bottoms up. Bottoms up generally meant that, an engineer, a small group of engineers got passionate about something and just decided to build something in a hackathon and then eventually gets built out and a team gets built around it. The problem with edit is that it is just complex enough that the complexity makes it hard for just an individual to ship bottoms up without resources being allocated top down. But then if you consider the, top down method, it means that someone, a product leader or someone in management is looking at, the top level company metrics, and they are trying to think of a way to move one of these metrics or other. It's usually increase engagement or time spent or, ad dollars spent et cetera. And when you think about moving these top level metrics, it's really hard actually to prioritize something like, editing, which may not feel like it has such a direct impact on, one of these metrics. So I guess a final thing that I'll say, and this is something that I like to do to always try to tie some of these points into a tangible, actionable piece of advice, is this idea of kind of the iceberg syndrome, where the technical and product complexities far outweighs what initially meets the eye, is really true, honestly, for almost all products. And so when you're in an interview and you're inevitably going to be talking about past projects that you're working on, try to spend as little time as possible talking about that tip of the iceberg. And this is really where I see, honestly, most junior people spending most of their time, is they're just spending the time talking about what the product did at a surface level. And that's not, it's not bad, but it's not super interesting, right? And so what you really want to do is focus on trying to expose a little bit of the beneath the surface complexity. What's one complexity that you ran into that was totally unexpected, and how was it handled, right? And if you can share even one detail that your interviewer didn't think of themselves, then I will say that you have won that segment of your interview. And so I guess that will be it for today, and I will see you at the next coffee break with Formation.